Welcome back to Go Figure. Today we're on lesson 60 of Saxon Algebra Half, circles. Please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. Our learning objectives today are to define the terminology related to circles and to find the circumference of a circle find the area of a circle. So the radius of a circle is the distance from any point on a circle to the center of the circle. So here you can see the center of the circle, and the radius is just this distance here to the edge. And so you can have many radii in a circle. A chord is a line that connects 2 points on a circle. So here we have 2 points on the circle and then a line just connecting them. And the diameter is a special type of chord that passes through the center of a circle. So that is the longest chord that a circle can have, is its diameter, the distance all the way across. And lastly, the circumference is the total distance around a circle. So like the perimeter of the circle, all the way around. And the circumference of a circle is, no matter how big or small it is, it's always going to be a little bit more than 3 times the diameter of the circle. So if we took like a piece of string for this diameter, and then we use that string to follow the circumference of the circle. If we started here and use that string, we would get maybe around here, and then we'd have to use that same length of string and to keep going around, and maybe we'd end up here, and then third time would end up here, and then you'd have this little extra space that to cover. And so and that is for any circle. And so we call this the number of times that the diameter has to go around a circle, we call it pi, and it's represented by this symbol here. And its approximate value is 3.14. So in our assignment, that's what we'll use for the number pi, but just know that it actually is a decimal number that goes on forever and ever and ever and never repeats. And so to find the circumference of a circle, all we need to do is multiply pi by the diameter. And to find the area of a circle, we multiply pi by the radius squared. So let's look at some examples of this. So the radius of a circle is 4 inches. What is the circumference of the circle, and what is the area of the circle? So remember our formula for circumference. I'll just rewrite this over here. C for circumference. Circumference equals pi times the diameter, d. So we know the radius. The diameter is always double what the radius. Remember, because the radius is the distance between the edge of the circle and the center. Well, if we, double that, you would have the diameter. So the diameter in this case is 8 inches. So our circumference is going to equal pi times 8 inches. And then we're going to use this approximately equal to sign so that we can just put in our 3.14 for pi. Remember, that number is an infinite decimal, so we're not going to find the exact answer when we just use our approximation. So 3.14 times 8 inches. And we can go ahead and use a calculator to solve that just to make things quicker. And we would end up with 25.12. And then use our units, which is inches. So remember, circumference is a distance, so it's just going to be a length in inches. And notice how it is a little bit more than 3 times our diameter. 3 times 8 is 24, and our circumference is a little bit more than 24. Okay, and then what is the area of the circle? Now our formula for area is pi times r squared. So let's plug in the numbers that we have. Pi times radius is 4, and then squared. And then we'll use approximately equal to, and we replace pi with 3.14. And then 4 squared is 16. So we're going to multiply that by 16. And our units are inches squared now because we're talking about area. So those are square inches. And then when we multiply this out, we get approximately 50.24. So the area of that circle with a radius of 4 inches is approximately 50.24 square inches. Okay, second example. The diameter of a circle is 5 feet. Now diameter, again, is going all the way across that circle. That's the chord that goes across the center through the center of the circle. And that is 5 feet. So what is the circumference of the circle? Again, our formula circumference equals pi times diameter. So that will be approximately equal to 3.14 times 5 feet. And when I multiply that out, we know it should be a little bit more than 15, right? 3 times the diameter is would be 15, so our circumference is going to be a little bit more than that. And we'll get 15.7 feet. And circumference is a length, so it's just feet there for units. And then what is the area of the circle? Area, again, equals pi times r squared. And if our diameter is 5, then our radius would be half of that, which is 2.5. So that's what we're going to use for r in our formula here. And I'm going to do approximately equal to 3.14 times our radius, which is 2.5. And that is squared. So when we do the math on that, we end up with 19.625. And then our units are square feet. All right, here's your practice problems. Pause the video and go through all these answers and then press start when you're ready to check your answers. Okay, the radius of a big circle is 100 meters. What is the diameter of this circle? Okay, this one's easy enough. Diameter is always double the radius, so diameter is going to be 200 meters. Put m for meters. What is the circumference of the circle? Our formula for circumference is pi times diameter. So that's approximately going to be 3.14 times 200 meters. When we multiply that out, we get 628 meters is the circumference of the circle. And lastly, what is the area of the circle? Area formula is pi r squared. So approximately equal to 3.14 times our radius of 100, and we're squaring that. So 100 squared is 10,000, and then times 3.14. We're going to end up with 31,400. And that's square meters. Okay, so in summary, just remember these formulas for circles. The circumference, the distance around the circle, is pi times diameter, and the area of a circle is pi times the radius squared. If you can remember that, you can just plug in the numbers that you know and you can solve those problems. So go ahead and do problem set 60 and then read ahead to lesson 61 in your textbook. And if you have any questions, just go ahead and post them in the comments. I will answer you. And again, like and subscribe. Thanks. We'll see you next time.